The following program is a real estate and mortgage show and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good evening and welcome to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts Randy and Jackie Rodney right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email. Our email address is yourhomeyourmoney101 at gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your hosts of Your Home, Your Money, Randy and Jackie Rodney.
Hello, y'all.
Hi, all.
We're here.
Sorry.
We're kind of scrambling. Last second, we're hoping that the market data is in, and
It's not.
maybe it is. Hold on.
How is everybody?
April. Oh, yes, it's in.
You got it.
Oh
Okay.
my.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The things that he gets excited about,
Well, hey, this is the real McCoy. No, hold on. Yes, it is.
people. My
it's
thing is
different.
dead.
It's
Okay.
dead. You should have charged it. This is so
Jump
great.
it.
We don't even need her for the show, to be honest.
Well,
with
then
you.
why did you tell me to come? I could have
I
stayed
did
home.
not tell you to come.
I could have stayed home and did laundry.
I didn't tell you to come. Not at all.
Thank you,
You
Mike.
could have stayed home because you
You're
probably
no.
didn't prepare
I
anyways.
said to you, going to put it all out there, people. Tell all the business. We need toilet paper here at the office. I said, do you need a toilet paper now, or can I bring it like tomorrow or whatever? You're like, well, we have to show tonight. So what does that mean?
Right. So we have the show
Meaning
tonight.
you
That's
can
what
bring it
means.
tonight when you come for the show.
Okay, it means that, but doesn't it also
Yeah,
mean that
okay,
we have a
okay.
show
No, that's
tonight?
it. That's it. That's
No.
the end of it.
No.
End of story. If I didn't come, you'd complain that I didn't come in for the show.
Yeah. Oh my.
But you
I
know
don't
what? This
understand.
man don't help me clean the house or nothing.
Oh, now you go to that.
But
Okay.
I got to do everything that he wants to do.
Everything, eh? You're doing
He's
everything.
such a control freak, but you all know that.
Wow. You know, it
Did
is
you
what
turn
it
your ringer
is.
off on your phone?
I'm not even responding to everything that you want to throw at me. I'm going to concentrate on
Okay.
getting my information.
Okay,
in.
you get your information. I will check the emails and see what stuff people are saying about you tonight.
Yeah, what lies you're going to tell them? That's cool.
Oh, we don't got any emails yet. That's a first.
Whoa, nice.
Usually we got some.
nice.
Okay, so, Randy, what's going on out there in the market?
Average price down. Oh, not
Average
good.
price is down, but
Not-
man, I
not
don't know.
good.
I've been crazy busy. I don't have time for nothing.
But that's just because you're really good. You see, you know all those haters out there are saying, "Oh, you guys, all you trying to pretend like you care about your clients," or they actually say you care about your clients, but those things don't matter. Go down, get to sales. It's all changing. Okay, all those sales people out there, they're all dying. Us consultants, us people who are there for our clients 100%, for some reason we're starting to pick up, and thank heavens. The rest of our world is falling apart, but our real estate is
Yeah, I
coming
don't know.
together.
Something's going on. Something has changed out there because I was saying to you this morning, remember? I said something different is going on. We've never really asked people for reviews or anything, and we've had coaches all the time. We have 2 coaches right now, and they're always like, you got to get Google reviews. You got to have a presence out there in cyber world, whatever the heck you call it. I've never done it, so I've started in the last year to ask for reviews. But we don't outsource anything. We work with people that we know, and they refer people to us, and that is 100%. But lately, like this year in particular, like I'm picking up clients everywhere. I'm picking up clients at open house that want to work with me. I'm picking up, like I got this one guy that called me from Realtor.ca, one of my listings, and we haven't even spoke over the phone. We were just communicating through texting and email. And I don't know, this guy said the same thing to me. He's like, no. He's like, you will be the realtor I use when I buy my first house in Canada. I'm like, and he's looking now, him and his wife, but they're trying to get pregnant, so she's going to be going on mat leave. So I said to him, well, and my mortgage person also suggested to him,
If he's having
if you're
problems
not,
getting her pregnant,
no.
I got you pregnant twice, so I can definitely.
You got me pregnant 4 times. Did you not forget our second child's a rainbow child? I lost 2, or you forgot that, did you?
Well, you know what? I also forgot I got snipped, so I can't actually help him. But
So-
I can give you referrals.
But anyways, what I was going to say was, I guess, I don't know, I guess people just think I'm honest. I don't know what it is, but I've never worked with people that I don't know, and I've done at least 2 deals this year with people that I don't even know. Never met them at an open house, and I'm a no pressure salesperson. I don't want to pressure you or anything. So I said to him, well, how quickly do you need to buy a house? Is this something that, do you have to get out of where you are? Do you really need to buy a house? If not, maybe you want to consider waiting until your wife has the baby, goes back to work, because then your income is more, and you can, because we're not finding much in the bracket that he wants to spend right now. So maybe we wait. And he was like, couldn't believe that I told him that. But I'm like, sometimes it's not the right time to buy for everybody. Sometimes, and I think our job is to educate people and let them know all their options and go through everything with them and know what's going on in their life and know what's best for them at this time, and not be scared of not doing a deal right now. Not be scared if you don't do the deal in the future. Just be happy that you did right by somebody. I don't know. I guess it's corny. I don't know. But something is changing out there. Something is definitely changing with people. And I don't know. This one girl that I helped, her family's had a realtor for many, many years. And I don't know. And now they're like, okay, my son wants to buy a condo, probably, toward the end of this year. And, we're going to be reaching out to you. And I'm like, okay, great. I think now, at this point in real estate, experience, integrity, honesty really matters to people, I think. Where
And I
before, it was kind of like, my mom has a realtor, so we're using them. You know what I mean? It was, but I don't know.
And I
I'm
think
just
every
guessing.
realtor has experience, integrity, and honesty. I really do. As a matter of fact, that's been put into us at every level of our training, is that this is what we do. So.
Oh, you mean to pump the sales?
No,
That's what most
that you
coaches-
have honesty, that you have integrity.
Oh, yeah.
That is pumped at every level of real estate. So I am not sold that that's what's helping you right now.
I don't know then.
Well,
I really
that's
don't
fine.
know.
And I believe you don't know, because you've only been in the business since '99. So
Yeah.
you're only
No, but I don't think I'm any better than
25,
anybody else.
And you're only 25 years, but you have a secret weapon that you don't even realize.
What, you?
That's right. And you can laugh about it, but it's not. It's not
okay.
really that funny. I work full time behind everything that you do, full time, and I've been doing this since '88. So I'm not doing it for sales. I'm not in there for sales. I'm in there to make sure that your clients can experience the best possible experience that they can experience. I'm there to make sure that they get the most amount of dollars when it comes time for a negotiation. I'm there so that their home is presented in the best possible manner that it can be presented in. And I spend 15, 16, 17 hours a day with an assistant that spends her, 30 hours a week, 40 hours, whatever she spends. She may claim much more, but good points
What was
of
that?
interaction. Just saying that, at least I would say 30 hours of productive time spending helping the clients to do better. And this is what our clients are seeing. This is what they're enjoying when they meet with you, and the things and the tools that you give them that no other agent on the market has ever even told them that they could have. The reason why the other agents can't do that is because the other agents don't have somebody working 70 hours a week behind everything that they do. And so, yeah, it's coming out and it's showing itself in a lot of really different, interesting ways. And it's about time, because our business was only by referral, and now my wife has experienced that there's other people who are falling in love with the service that we provide. It's not a big surprise to me. My biggest challenge is, I know, because I've been doing this since 1988, and I've worked really hard at trying to provide all of this all on my own. And whether my wife was busy with the children or whatever
Good
we
thing
were
you
doing,
just said that.
whatever we were doing, it didn't matter, because I was putting in 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week to try to provide exceptional service to each and every client that I delivered. And now I'm doing that, but I don't have to be on the front lines. My wife is on the front lines, and I'm on the behind the scene, really, pumping out more and more and better services. And my dream is to get to the point of where we can be the, or one of the, because I'm sure that there will be others. I don't believe there are any right now, but ours, and I believe the space is blank. But walking into something brand new to deliver your dream, while it's cool and awesome and it feels good and it's scary, because it is kind of expensive, it is unknown, everybody's telling you not to do it, but we're not doing it because we're not doing it for rewards. We're doing it because I want to deliver that service to our clients. I want to be able to get there. I want to be able to get to the optimum level of service that I have ever experienced in my, how many years? 40 years, 40 plus years of real estate.
1988, I don't know what's
So that's what I want to be able to do. And there is no one out there that can change my mind. And it's not driven on money. And it's not driven on any of those things. So if I end up getting there and we're able to deliver a level of service that is just not available in the industry, then I have arrived. However, my biggest problem, because I know right now the service that we deliver, 90%, actually, I think 100% of the industry just doesn't deliver, but 90% doesn't even know how to talk about delivering it. Because I believe that there's a 10% portion of the industry that knows how to talk about delivering it. But they don't really, they won't deliver it behind closed doors. They can't.
You know
they
what,
just
though?
can't. And go ahead.
like, I just want to say this one thing about you. It was like when our daughter, I guess what, was she in grade 10 or something, or grade 9, she decided she loved makeup and she wanted to do something with makeup. And I looked at her and I said, oh my gosh, no, you're going to be poor. Like, you can't make no money at that. And Randy's like, don't tell her that. He's like, you know what? Do what you love, do what you have a passion for, and money will come. And I think it's true. If you do what you love, and it's something that you really love, and you do right by people, money follows. So if you don't put money in the forefront, I think, you probably may even be more prosperous. I don't know, but I mean, like, our daughter followed her dreams, and I mean, she's doing phenomenal. I mean, making kinds of money at 23 that I never thought was even possible. So,
She's
I
on
mean,
the next level. that's for
so, I mean, it is something to be said about follow your dreams, do what you're passionate about, keep doing it every day, and people will see your passion and know that it's not a sales pitch. They know that this is something that you really enjoy doing.
Yeah, you know, someone had told me the other day that's called the build it and they will come. The
Oh
field
my
of
gosh,
dreams.
the whole
Field of Dreams.
No, not the Field of Dreams.
That's what it is. It's called the Field of Dreams. It's a movie.
No,
There's a movie,
No,
Field of
what's
Dreams,
that?
of
Married with
baseball.
Children. He said that in his garage. Ted, what is his name? Bundy.
Bundy? I
Not
don't
Ted
know.
Bundy. Well,
Al
Al
Bundy.
Bundy. He says, "Build it, and they will come."
Yeah, because he was quoting the Field of Dreams. But
I know.
and for me, to be honest with you, it's not a necessarily build it and they will come, because I don't know if they're going to come. I think that you have to somehow let people know that that option is available, because it's just not available in our real estate industry today, and that's why many of you have written in. I would say 50 times in the
Quit
last
real
how many
estate.
years, you know, stop it, go back to work, get this, you're not going to make any money from it. And you know what? We're not doing it to make money. We're doing it to make ourselves happy.
Well, we're
to-
not rich by no means.
No.
We're definitely not rich,
No,
but
and you know what? We don't necessarily have the desire to become rich.
well, I don't know
It's
about
not-
that. I buy lotto all the time, so
Okay, my wife, she may be money focused.
I'm focused on that big lottery.
Yeah. So
Dreams.
okay, but for me, none of that plays a part. It's really all about being able to assist, to make my dreams come true. And my dreams are simply this: I've spent a lion's share of my life in this industry, and I love the industry because it has provided for our children and our house and our, you know, and our livelihoods. It's done amazing things for us. We've had lifestyles that many others haven't had, and I don't think we deserve any. I certainly don't deserve any of that, but that's how our lives shaped up. And now we're a little bit at a crossroads. Life's a lot harder right now. Things are a lot harder.
In real estate.
And I have decided that I'm going all in. And so I'd rather go out with a fizzle than have tried.
You mean a bang
no,
than a
I'd rather
fizzle?
go out with a
Because a
fizzle.
fizzle is like a slow, isn't
Right.
that like?
I'd rather go out with a fizzle than have not tried. So you don't
Okay.
get that, right?
Well, it's different. It's different.
No, what I'm saying is I want to try, period. And if it doesn't work, then that's just what it is.
Well,
I'd
I
rather
call it
go
the
out-
last kick at the can, maybe.
Yeah, the last kick at the can. And hopefully you do kick the can, you don't miss. Because I've seen people kick at the can,
And
miss,
fall
the
down.
leg goes up in the air,
No,
falls
my
down,
brothers
hurt
used to
their
do
back.
that. My brothers used to do that to me all the time. Well, I'm still little, but I mean, I'm probably the only little one out of the 5 of us in our family. And my brother would do that all the time. He'd put his arm out, he's like, oh, kick my hand, and it'd start off low, low, low. And then he'd keep going up until I try to kick it, and sure enough, couldn't kick that high, end up on my back, and he thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, that would be funny. And by the way, your whole family's short. Every one of you is.
They're not tiny, though.
No,
They are not, I'm the only tiny one.
kind of like a Weebles
Well, no,
Wobbles.
actually, my oldest brother is quite tiny now. He's very slimmed down now, but yeah. Anyways, let's do some emails quickly before we get way off track. So Bob says sales are terrible here in the GTA. Just read
yeah.
about it. You are right, Bob, and it's not going to get any better. Cody says, my review for you, Randy helped clean the house. That is not going to happen.
Who's that?
Cody,
Block that guy.
I'm not blocking him. Cody, yes, thank you for being on my side. Karen. Oh, well, it wasn't really mopping the floor, but she said, did you watch any of this today? Karen said, Trump mopped the floor with Carney today, but the media will say it's all good. Did you watch any of it?
No, but I don't really care at
You
this point.
what? You're watching
no.
it all the
No,
time.
not anymore. Not anymore. Ever since liberals won the election, I just said, okay, you know what? Canada is doomed. We're going on year 10 of a liberal party.
So Eric
I don't
says,
know what
do a
to say.
cooking and toilet paper show. Eric, I don't like to cook either, so I don't know. Maybe it'll have to be toilet paper.
Yeah.
Ray says, Super Randy, SR. Woohoo,
I
Randy.
like that.
Steve says, enough, Randy, I'm tearing up. Sean says, the violins are playing.
The violins, yeah.
Yeah, we've had the violins played a few times, but anyways,
You know
yeah.
what?
Real estate is
Screw it.
not. It's
You know what, Jack? That's
What?
it. That's it. Who was that? Steve?
yeah. Steve said something last week to you.
What,
Well, I can't remember.
what did Steve just say?
He
The
said-
violins are playing?
Enough, no, he said enough, Randy. I'm tearing up.
You know what, Steve? I don't know what just happened. You just touched me. This
You should. Steve obviously listens every week, so he obviously likes you.
This is what I'm gonna say. I don't really care anymore on anything else. I'm doing what I'm doing because I love what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to become the #1 Sirhant real estate agent. I'm not doing it for any of that stuff. And I don't even have a desire for any of that. Right now, I'm going to be honest. I did this investment 8 years ago that has gone very sour.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and it's hurt. And because of that,
Overseas investments, don't do them.
Things are not the best. And I've been beaten up on myself the whole time. And I can't even rise above where I'm at. But because I for some reason, I just feel, well, I should, because I was pretty smart, I thought. But what happened is that shortly thereafter, we invested in tourism, and the pandemic happened, and our governments lost their minds and decided that they would just shut everybody down and shut everything down and whatever.
And shut
And
my
that's how
investment
they're
down.
going to. That's how they're dealing with it and deal with it. And unbelievably, everybody is like, "Oh yeah, that's we don't know much about what you don't know much about what. This is stupid." To have everybody in their homes, you can't work and you shut everything else down. That's just stupid. Anyways, that's how our government decided to deal with it. Most of the population thought that was okay. It was only a handful of us that thought that was the dumbest thing that we've ever
Well,
seen in our
at
lives.
the time, none of us knew, though,
It
Randy,
doesn't-
what
you
it
don't
was all
have
about.
to know. We did know. There was lots that we knew. I don't even find that an excuse anymore. And that's why you got people saying, oh, they're going to go after, what's that guy, the head doctor in the States, and the guy from the WHO, and the Mary whatever from Canada. And we were just going to go after Fauci, that's it. They want to go after him and lock him up for the false information, all that stuff. I don't want to do any of that. You know what? The government was behind that guy, and I think he was crooked, but that's besides the point. The government was behind him. Leave the guy alone. That's my opinion. Leave him alone. The government was behind it, and therefore he thought he was doing good, even though it wasn't good. And people like myself thought it was really bad what was happening, the way that doctors were running our economies.
You enjoyed it. You became a gardener.
Oh yeah, I love that, didn't I? Hey? Yeah, it
You
was
tried.
the dumbest thing I ever. Anyways, there was a whole bunch of stupid stuff going on, and I thought it was all wrong. and my neighbors, and I walk and pace up and down my driveway, and they'd pace and they'd go on the sidewalk, and they're okay with what's going on. Well, our government does know better and stuff like that. That's not true. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out that this is wrong. What we're doing is totally wrong, but only a small handful of us believed it. Today, a larger handful of us believe it. It took the truckers in Canada to actually make a difference. And they went to Ottawa, and our prime minister at the time totally messed everything up and brought even more awareness to the situation. And I remember the day that Trudeau said that he is not going to talk to the truckers because of their unacceptable views. And I had the same views as them. And I realized at that moment that diplomacy, democracy, the free speech, because then it was out the window, because anybody who agreed with them, they were going to freeze their bank accounts and they were going to do a lot of negative things to them. And I was totally out for that. So that was when I lost it. And I lost it then. And because of, is it Steve now?
Yep, Steve.
That said, hey, Randy, you know, what did he say?
He said he's crying tears for you.
He's crying. Was that what Steve said, or someone else said that
no,
one?
okay. You want me to go
Yeah,
back
yeah,
and
go
prove
back,
it to
go
you?
back.
My husband
Okay.
never believes anything I say.
No, it's not that.
Enough, Randy, I'm tearing up. You happy?
Okay. I actually appreciate that, Steve, because the truth of the matter is I went through a lot, and I felt alone in a lot of it, because my wife didn't believe in what was going on, but she certainly wasn't as passionate about it as me. I just thought it was stupid. And how can we have the greatest minds in our country running our country, but making so many mistakes and freezing people's bank accounts and shutting them down and all this stuff? And here I am, just a little old black guy, just
Little?
trying to actually make a difference in the lives of our clients. That's all I wanted to do. Make a small little difference and give them the experience that they're looking to have. Give them get them the best deal I can possibly do it. And it's opposite. A lot of you guys don't realize that the real estate is really juxtaposed.
What?
Just the
Position?
just the position. That's it. Just the anyway, it's a
Okay.
juxtaposition.
Let it
it's
go.
like a yin
Let
and
it
yang.
go.
It's opposites. It's schizophrenic. It's a number of things. When you are representing the seller, the things that you do are the exact opposite of when you're representing the buyers. So they require different skill sets, different personalities, different dialogues, different systems. And for me, the art of being able to master one or the other was very, very important to me. And so, you know, I specifically have been working on the art of mastering the seller's position. And, you know, I made my way through the ranks in the buyer's position, and usually that's how the real estate market works, is the beginners are working with the buyers, and the buyer's part is really fun. It's fun, it's fuzzy, it's not that it's not as complicated until you get to the negotiation. And on the seller side, it's highly complicated in many instances. In some instances, it becomes very simple. But if you want to master it, there are a lot of skills to master, and it's harder. And so I have given my entire life to try to master the art of the seller's experience. And because of that, I have there's 20 stages that we've identified throughout the entire seller's experience, and almost 200 data points, 180 something data points. There's 88 turbulence points along the path. Here in Canada, it's 88 in the States, but here in Canada, we're seeing that there may be around 85. But I had one come to me just the other year, one brand new one, where a house burnt down in between the closing date.
No, the
It was
firm
on the
and
closing date, actually.
No, half an hour before.
Half an hour, which is on the closing date because it's midnight.
Oh my gosh.
So we've had that. So that's sort of a new point that we've added to our turbulence list. And our turbulence list is simply a bunch of points, 88 points, but really 86 on the Canadian side and 2 on the extra on the American side, of things it is that we're trying to make sure that we have solutions for if those problems arise, so that we can best service our clients. And then we have, we have all this stuff going on. We have 7 very clear turbulence points, or points of milestones for the clients. Within these 20 stages, there's 7 stages that are clearly, totally, when we were talking about juxtapositions, in terms of personality needs that the sellers are looking for. So we're like this geekish into the process of real estate. So we've really taken it extremely serious. And my dream is to get to the point where we can actually really help our sellers to navigate that situation. As a matter of fact, we want them to be able to get the best of the situation. So the best usually falls into 3 real serious categories. One is to get the most amount of money. Now, getting the most amount of money for a seller means getting top dollar. And the top dollar is relative to commissions. So, if, for example, we were in a situation, I think I told you guys about this last week. So we're going to talk about the 3 stages. So one is the seller getting the top dollar. 2 is the client getting the quickest possible sale. And the 3rd one is the easiest transaction. So the easiest transaction, we were just talking about being able to master the 88 potential turbulence that can happen within a transaction, and what's the best way to handle them for them so they can feel secure, knowing that this is the best route for them to go, for them to know that this is how the best way to handle those going forward. And if you have clients that are going to listen and take instruction and follow it, then their lives will become easier. But you do get, in some circumstances, clients that will not listen to what you have to say. They're very oppositional. They have their own points of view, and they're going to go it their way, which is the hardest, roughest, worst possible way to go. And I'm experiencing a client like that right now, where we have advised them exactly what they need to do in order to get their property sold, where there's only 1 in 5 selling. And so if they were to put their property out with looking like this, which it was looking fantastic, what you might want to do is try to attract as much attention, take that attention, wrap it up, move everybody into the highest possible sale bracket and sell the property. They decided that they didn't want to do that. They wanted to go for the highest possible dollar right now, and with no negotiation room. And they felt that this was a viable route. It was not a route that we told them to go with, but they thought that that's the way the world works. And they even had a scenario where they pointed out that in the car industry, there's people that go there and sorry, that's what the car is asked, that's what they're asking for that car, that's it, take it or leave it. So their place is not selling. And that technique is not working in a buyer's market, where the buyers are the ones who are saying, we're not really buying overpriced property right now. Properties that are selling for much
They're
less.
not even looking at
We're
them.
not even gonna look at them, never mind. So they've learned their lesson. The staging the property's now destaged, and they are trying to get people to look at their property, and they've reduced their price. But unfortunately, the price that their property was worth a month and a half ago is not the same price it's worth today. So even if you were to try to move to that price point, which they're trying to, it's overpriced today. It wasn't overpriced then. And all this was explained, but they chose not to. And that's fine. That is their choice. We encourage clients to have their own mind, listen to our experience, and do what it is that you do. So we got the easiest possible route that we will explain to clients. We got the quickest possible route that we will explain to clients, and then we got the top dollar scenario that we will explain, the way in which you could get top dollar navigating the current marketplace. Now remember, in the current marketplace, in our area anyways, 1 in 5 properties are selling. That means that 4 out of 5 are not selling. So it's important to be able to navigate that and to be able to get to the point where you have something to offer that will get one person wanting to buy yours before all the others. And so there's a number of ways to do that. I'm going to talk about a scenario that we did 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It might have been 3 now. I'm old, so I kind of forget, but here it is, and this is a very rare occurrence. Matter of fact, well, I've never really looked for it before, but now we're kind of looking for it. We have 2 houses that are the same houses with different what is that called? Damn,
What?
I'm getting old.
Different what?
They have elevations. They have different elevations. Elevation is basically when you're buying your home new, if both of these owners bought their home new, when you're buying your home new, you get to choose for the same kind of home various elevations. And the reason why builders will give you a different elevation is because in many communities, you cannot have the exact same house side by side or within 2 houses. You can't have the exact same look. I know if you live in Markham, you're going to see that in a lot of areas where they'll have the same house on almost the whole street, the same look. But a lot of communities became smart to that, said that's a horrible looking street and we're not going to allow that. So what builders would do is they would have 2 to 3 different elevations, which is different curb appeals, different. The same house inside will have outside a different look.
And maybe a walkout basement, and some don't. Is that
Well,
what you're getting
no,
at, or
no.
just the front?
No, we're talking just the front.
Okay.
If it's a
Okay.
walkout, that has to do with the landscaping of the land. You can't have a walkout basement if you don't have a sloped yard. The landscape of the topology, the landscape, it will determine if it's a walkout and stuff like that. But this is strictly just the front appearance, having the exact same home inside, possibly within a few square feet, but the outside has a completely different look. One may have a veranda, one may be a brick, one may be a siding, and you're gonna have different what they call elevation. It's the front of it. These two homes were the same homes with different elevations. They were 3 homes apart from each other, and they're on a one-way street. Now, the same home on a one-way street, what happened is that you pull up to our house first, and when you leave our house, you pass the next one, and then the next one after that is the other house in question that competes with ours. Now, it is very rare to have 2 competing homes happen to go on the market at the same time, have an open house at the same time, and both sell within the same week. Like, this is almost unheard of. At least we've never looked at that before, but we're looking now because it is very important to us to be able to have the ability to claim that we get our sellers more money, because that's our differentiator right now. That's our big differentiator. So we do a lot of things to get our clients more money. Our feature sheets aren't feature sheets. They're magazines. They're at least 20 pages long with beautiful color and showing all of the home, and leading to a website that has a virtual tour, that has a digital twin of the property where they can go in and virtually look at the ceiling and the walls, the corners, and look at the whole entire home, walk through it, and of course, all the photography, what's going on in the community, what's happening with the schools, big write-up on the home. Like, we're just hitting it hard, because we realize that there's a certain thing that happens when people are ready to buy. They really take a deep dive into what they're looking to buy. So they want to learn more about that particular thing that they're looking to buy. And so if that's not available, they can't do it. And therefore, they don't get as much emotionally invested in it. But what we do is we give them all the information. They can take as big of a deep dive as they want, and therefore they can really get emotionally connected to it. And we do that specifically because at that point, once they're very emotionally connected to it and they're working with their client, that we can then get a top dollar. We can get more money out of them because they've done their homework. They really want this. They like it better than all the other ones because they've invested their time and they understand all the features and benefits of the property and the neighborhood and that. And so that's what we do. We take that deep dive. So what happened is that these 2 homes were available at the same time. It's a one-way street. They come to our house. We put out 50 signs, and this is where
you told this before.
I did tell it, but
Yeah.
we have more listeners, and I really want to drive this point home.
Okay.
So we have we put out 50 signs in the neighborhood to drive people to our open house. Now, here's the wonderful thing about this scenario, is that we're driving people to this open house, and as they go up the street, they get to the next property. So all the efforts that we put in, the next agent should benefit from. But because that next agent did not dress up the front of their house to let everybody know that they're doing an open house, they just had a small little sign there. And we had flags, we had 3 flags out, 6 signs at it, and the big sign on the property with the custom for sale sign on the property. And it didn't look like a carnival, but kind of more like an open house event was going on there, whereas at their property, all there was a little sign on top of the for sale sign that said open house. And all the people, we had 12 sets of people that came to ours, 12 families came to ours, plus 2 realtors with their clients came to ours. So 14 sets of people came and visited the property. And when that agent finished their open house, they came over to our open house just to see the property. and they spoke with the agent at the time that was Oren. I was out picking up all the signs, the 50 signs that we put out, which take about an hour to put out. And she went in and she asked them, hey, how many people do you have through? Oh, we had, at that time there was 10 sets plus 2, but 2 more came afterwards. But had said, no, we had 10 sets. She goes, really? We only had 1. So really what that told us is effort matters. All of the extra signs that we put out drove people there, but they came there actually expecting us. And when we had all those signs, they felt like they had arrived. Then, when they left, they felt like they had everything that they were looking for, per se, and they drove right by the next open house, which was just a couple of doors away, and didn't visit it. And for those of you who know, if they would have actually set up their home, they would have got the majority of the people who came to ours. They should have at least 7, 8, 9, 10. Sets of people, but didn't. And so they really kind of messed up. But really what happened here, effort. Effort matters. Now, we can only assume that that agent was a agent that believes in discounting their services because, it does cost a lot more money to have 50 signs. It does cost a lot more money to have multiple agents running the open house. It does cost more money to have prizes and that for the open house. It does cost more money to market the open house. It does cost more money to do brochures for the open house. These things do cost more money, and if you're discounting your services, you can't do it. It's not possible. It's just not enough money for it. And so they probably chose the discount route, and because of that, their homeowner saved $8,000. So how did their homeowner save $8,000? Well, let's assume that they got a 1% discount. They listed the home, and here's the thing. Both homes listed relatively for the same amount of money. They listed for $799,999, like, the Ginsu knife thing, $799,999. That's what they listed for, and we listed for $800,000. And so, the question becomes, why would you list for $800,000? Why wouldn't you list for $799,000? It sounds better. Well, that's not true. It sounds better if you're buying Ginsu knives. It sounds better if you're doing that whole discount thing. But if you're trying to get the most amount of money for your client, it doesn't sound better. And here's why. When you look for homes, if you're looking for a home right now, for those of you who are out there, you're looking for a home and you want to buy something from $700,000 to $800,000, you're going to see this home, aren't you? Because it's $799,999. You're going to see it. But if you're looking for a home from $800,000 to $900,000 or $800,000 to $1 million, will you see this home? No, you won't. It's below the price point that you selected. And you're not going to look from $799,999 to $999,999. That's not what you can do. You look from $700,000 to $800,000, from $800,000 to $900,000, from $800,000 to $1 million. That's what you're going to do. So we list on the cusp of $800,000, and the people who are looking from, let's say, $600,000 to $800,000 or $700,000 to $800,000, they will see us. And they will also see this person at $799,999. But us that are listed at $800,000, people who are looking from $800,000 to $900,000 or $800,000 to $1 million, they won't see the $799,999. They'll see us though, because we're on $800,000. So we're bringing more attention to that property just by using simple logics. And here's one more thing to think about. If you were selling that house, who would you rather have going through your house? The people looking from $600,000 to $800,000, or the people looking from $800,000 to $1 million? Who would you rather go through the home? And so, yeah, it's nice to get the people from 6 to 8 because they're going to help the people from 8 to $1 million to spend more money. But the person who's listed at $799,999 isn't going to get the people from 8 to $1 million. or from 8 to 9. They're not going to get them because they're below that price point. Just like the people at 400 won't get them, 500 won't get them, 600 won't get them, 700 won't get them, 79999 won't get them. Okay, you get the point. So that's why we did what we did. So there are a number of things. So putting out 50 signs, having the brochures, our negotiation system is just second to none. And I could get my wife to talk about that at some point. We do quite a bit during negotiation time to get the dollars up. But they sold for $805,000. $805,000, $1,000, 1% discount is at $8,000. Call it roughly $8,000 discount. So that homeowner saved $8,000. Our client didn't get the opportunity to save that $8,000, but our client sold at $841,000. So they made $41,000 more. Not saved $8,000. They made $41,000. You tell me. So it's really what, 36? Something like that? 30, how do you do that math? 37?
Don't ask me.
30, whatever it is. I don't know why my brain won't allow me to look at that right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
think it's
weird,
because
'cause
I'm
you're
on
a
air.
math
Because I'm on air and I'm just sort of like trying to rhyme it off. But we sold at $841. So from $800, we got $41,000 more over asking. The other one went from from 800 to 805. So they got $5,000 more than asking. And the seller saved $8,000. But we got $41,000 over. So the seller didn't save that $8,000, so you can minus that. That brings it to $830, $840, $832, $833, and they got $5,000. Brings it down, probably like I don't know. Let's call it $30,000, something like that, more. Call it 25. Let's just do that rather, because I can't do the math right now because I'm on air and I can't think like that. So but the point is that would you rather save $8,000 in commissions and get 805, or would you rather get $841,000 and pay an extra 8,000? And that's the point. And so that's what happened. It's a bunch of effort, a bunch of time, the extra that we put in order to help our clients to get more. And that's what we do. Now let's talk about.
Oh, hold on. We got a ton of emails
Well,
and we got
I've-
5 minutes left.
Then forget the emails.
Well, I can do them in a minute.
Okay, do them in a minute.
Like, what do you mean forget the emails?
Because I got
are-
more I wanna talk
No, but
about.
these are our people that listen to us.
You've
You
already
need to take a
wasted.
back
You've already
seat.
wasted like 30 seconds.
Howard says, and what are you doing, Randy? The market is shit. You are broke. Work at Home Depot. My husband cannot do physical labor. Sorry. His hands doesn't allow
But
him.
I can just sell at Home Depot.
Karen.
I'll sell houses there.
Alberta is getting the referendum ready for it. You don't sell houses to anybody. You would tell them not to sell. What are you talking about?
Okay,
That's
go
funny. Alberta is getting a referendum ready for its citizens to join the U.S. has the 51 state. This could be history in the making. The latest polls show 87% of the population of Alberta want to be U.S. citizens and do what they can. That's wrong,
Who's that?
Karen, because I
Yeah,
watched it
that's not
today
true.
and
That's not
she's
true.
saying it's all a
But
little.
I hear you, Karen. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So, Joe, love you, Joe, by the way. Hey, for Jackie. You have been left home alone for more than 10 minutes. You have rights. Call the paw firm of Bacon, Treat, and Good Boy. I love it. I got to take a picture of that. Thank you, Joe. And we got Rhonda. Sing to the French song, Elouette. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Elevations, gentle elevations, elevations come and see me now. And Hannah says, my husband listening to Randy tonight at the office. Where's the image? I can't open
probably
it.
sleeping.
Yeah, I can't open it.
Good.
Sorry, Hannah, I can't open the image for
Wasn't
some reason.
important.
Yeah.
Just
okay,
kidding.
go. Say what you want to say.
Cool. How much time do I got?
You got about 5 minutes, because you can't go
24,
right.
yeah, okay. So, month of April. So here we are in probably one of our worst recessions, real estate recessions ever. Okay? This is a great time for buyers, a horrible time for sellers. Most sellers are actually not in touch with the marketplace. They're still trying to get the top dollar that they could have gotten before. There's going to be a problem because we're going to have more and more people coming through the pipeline that came from buying the house at top dollar. And they're just hoping, I guess, in some cases, to just be able to get out of it and not have to lose everything that they've had. So sales are down 23.3%. Okay, average price is down 4.1%. You got to understand that's just huge. 4.1% loss in the average price. New listings are up 8.1%, while active listings are up 54%. So our active listings are skyrocketing. They were up 88.8% last month, and they're up 54% this month, with new listings up another 8%. It's really kind of a tough thing for home sellers to imagine. For home buyers, this is your time. This is your time to shine. If you were waiting for the opportunity, you never know when the bottom is here. My kind of fear is when things do turn around, they're probably going to turn around hard and fast and make it very difficult for buyers to even get a home, because I don't know why the market is as stable as it is, even though the average listing price has dropped 4.1%. One thing I'd like to say about that is average price overall, which really means that the high-end market is not performing, and with the high-end market not performing, it makes the rest of the market look like it is declining hard when the rest of the market is kind of stable, especially in Durham. So let's look at sales to new listings ratio. Sales to new listings ratio is an interesting one because this is one that a lot of people consider supply and demand. And with supply and demand being at 36%, this is really the buyer's market. This is really saying that the buyers are the ones that are having the say on what properties will sell for. So when they put in a lowball offer on your home, your right thing is to let them go because you're not ready for that, but that's where they're at. And so that's what they're willing to pay for your home. You won't accept that. They move on to the next one. Buyers get the say. And the fact that only 1 in 5 homes are selling, buyers are definitely the ones that are ruling the roost right now at 36% of sales to new listing ratio, which is 36% demand on the supply market. Our months of inventory has climbed up to 4.1% overall in the GTA. Wow, what? That's insane. What are you doing?
You got 1 minute.
That's insane with a 4.1%. We are just climbing from the balanced market when it comes to months of inventory into the buyer's market. So we're looking at both of our indicators, both moving towards the buyer's market, giving buyers the full say on what's going on. Average sales price to list price has declined from 1.1 to 100% to 99%, which is showing the negotiations that are going on, that the negotiations are dragging the prices down. Average days on the market has climbed 22, average property days on the market has climbed 22% and has climbed well over a month. We're into or somewhere around 33 days. And that's your market update.
Whoa, you did it.
I did.
You did.
Well, look at that.
And
I'm
this
so
has
proud
been your
of me.
home, your money. Anthony, when are you coming
And
back?
our lives on realityradio101.com.
I
Bye
miss
for
you,
now.
Anthony.
you for listening to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts, Randy and Jackie Rodney, right here on Reality Radio 101.